Bruce, baby. Bruce, I really need you to get up off my table. No, I'm serious. No, like, I'm hella serious, Bruce. Y'all can't see him, but he's like literally right here on the table, on top of my notes. Bite it, baby! No, baby. Bruce. Hey, please. Okay, you got a kiss. But I really need you to come down. Hey, y'all. I am back. Of course I'm back. What other choice do I have? Thank you all for coming back to my channel. If y'all have liked what you've been seeing, please feel free to like, subscribe, share. We are officially 47 strong. Gang, gang. Thanks to all 47 of y'all, I have officially been able to upgrade my stuff. I've got some new lights, so now you can see me better, I hope. I put everything up to like warm lighting because I'm so pale. I feel like y'all can't see me. Or like y'all can see me, but y'all think I'm like the same color of the as the wall, and that's also not cool. But yeah, a big thank you to one of my really good friends for Christmas. She actually gave me the ring light that I am using right now to hoist my phone up to. So thank you if you are watching, shout out. And then I have these two other new lights, so that way I'm fully illuminated. Is that the word? I don't care if that's not the word. That's the word we're going to use. So anyway, hello, welcome back. I am Yvonne Ventura. You are in Yvonne Ventura's house. I am here with my co-host, Miss Mike, who is still trying to decide if she wants to lay on the heated blanket I turned on for her. Hopefully the heated blanket will make it so that my cats don't be wildin', but they might. I feel like it doesn't matter what I do at this point. But yeah, so there's Miss Mike. My other co-host, Bruce, was already causing trouble. And then my other baby, Chuck, he's really like MIA. He does not like to be on camera. So if y'all like me, y'all like my cats, feel free to stick around. But yeah, we are here. Today is going to be the final Ratchet retelling from the series of books that we picked out on Hoopla a few videos back. Which, if you haven't seen that video, what the hell are you doing? You haven't seen the previous videos, what the hell are you doing? Welcome. Here in Yvonne's house, we like to talk about books. A lot of books. Sometimes movies, sometimes music. We'll shoehorn in there. But for the most part, we're talking about books. And today, like I mentioned, is going to be another Ratchet retelling, because y'all seem to really love those. Today's Ratchet retelling is going to be on Feeling Fiery by Beck, Erixson. So, you remember the first two books, I would rate them Ass McGee if I was going to rate them out of 10. Ass McGee out of 10, both of those books. Actually, no. Cruel Promise, I'm gonna give Farts McGee out of 10. And then the last book, Chasing Him, Ass McGee. That one was really bad. All right, this book, by contrast, was actually a lot of fun to listen to. This one is for the girly pops out there that love a good rom-com, or the fellas that love a good rom-com, or the people that love a good rom-com. This book is for you. Before I get into the Ratchet retelling, I do have a couple of disclaimers for you. We got disclaimer number 1. Numero uno. Y'all, why do I keep forgetting? Disclaimer number 1, numero uno. This is a retelling. This is not a review. Meaning, I am going to be telling you, to the best of my abilities, beat for beat, what happens in this book. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because I'm also a hot mess when it comes to retelling things. But if you do not like spoilers, spoiler alert. Spoilers up the wazoo. Okay? I'm going to be divulging a whole lot of things. If you don't like that, if you are somebody that doesn't want anything spoiled for them before they embark on a journey with a book, proceed with caution. But if you are like myself and you need somebody to tell you, does the dog die? Is there a stupid ex-girlfriend? Does the couple even end up together at the end of this book? Is there some bullshit? I'm your girl. I'm putting myself through this so that you don't have to. Now, disclaimer number 2, numero dos. This is a Ratchet retelling, meaning your girl took notes, but that does not mean that the notes, say it with me now, y'all, make any damn sense. Those don't make no damn sense. I might completely omit plot points. I might tell you shit out of order. That's just how we do it up in this house. So I might not be the most reliable narrator when it comes to me telling you what happens in the book. So also, you don't get the whole thing spoiled for you. There you go. I might tell it so whack that it has nothing to do with your actual experience reading the book. Finally, disclaimer number 3, numero tres. Say it with me, y'all. These books are spicy. Your girl is listening to smut in the house, in the club, in the workplace, in, I don't know, anywhere else, with my cats, with myself, with my many other voices in my mind. Tangent, I did my makeup for y'all today. I'm actually wearing fake eyelashes. So, disclaimer number 4, if one of my eyelashes starts going crazy, do not bring attention to it. I have not worn fake eyelashes in a long time. So if they start going, don't say anything. Okay, I will probably see it when I'm editing this and then be really upset. But I don't want you telling me. Are we good? We don't want to fight with me today, right? Not to say that I engage in fights every day, but y'all don't want to fight with me. Also, Christmas shirt. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Because it's about to be Christmas, and by the time I upload this video, it'll probably be going up the week of Christmas. So if I don't see y'all before then, have a merry. Have a happy, whatever you celebrate, if you celebrate at all. Well wishes to you and your loved ones. Got it? All right. Intro done. Disclaimers done. Now, let's get into the book. So like I mentioned, this book, I kicked the light. Okay, so the book opens with our main character named Fia, spelled Fiadh. So if you recall, when I was shopping on Hoopla for this book, I kept saying Fiadh because I didn't know how to say her name. But the audiobook tells you that her name is Fia. She is a beautiful, fiery redhead. She is a professor at a college or a university in New York, and she is she specializes in brewing cider. And so we open the book knowing that she just recently got given a grant by this agency so that she can find a new location as part of the university for her to be able to teach her cider brewing course in the fall. And we also open knowing that she is very happy with her partner named Gavin, and Gavin's a douche. So, fun fact, any character that ends up being a douche in my mind, I insert Glenn Powell. I am sure Glenn Powell is a really nice guy in real life, but he just looks douchey. I said it. It had to be said. He just gives me D-bag vibes, okay? So we meet her boyfriend, Gavin, kind of. She and Gavin have been together for almost 2 years. She thinks that everything is going Gucci. Things are solid. It's about to be their anniversary. So she comes home from a long day of being a professor at the university and hunting for locations for her new class for the coming semester. So she comes home and she sees the table is set up beautifully. We got flowers in the middle. We got a runner. We got The point is, it's a nice little romantic looking dinner. And she's excited because she's like, oh, Gavin has come to surprise me. Love the man. This is fantastic. So she goes and sits down at the table, and there's a little letter on a table. So she opens the letter, and it's in Gavin's handwriting. It says, hey, baby, I just had a spiritual awakening, and our lives are going in two different directions because you are boring. You don't have anything going for you other than your job. And my life coach, Clarissa, has enlightened me, and I'm ready to experience new things and have fun with Clarissa. Yo, that's just heartbreaking. Like, I'm sorry, but if you get broken up with but through letter and you're told that the reason he's leaving you is because you're boring, like, ow. Me as like a 30-year-old that just kind of sits here and records videos to post on the internet and hangs out with her cats in the afternoons, that's hurtful. Like, it's like worry. Like now I'm gonna be looking at my husband all funny because I'm like, oh my god, do people actually leave because their partner is boring? Let's not think too hard about that. Okay, so this asshole leaves her because she's boring. She's not boring. He just found a nicer, prettier, like younger, prettier looking girl named Clarissa. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. And for the intents and purposes of this video, who is young and beautiful right now? Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter, welcome to the house. You are playing Clarissa. Okay, so Fia is so devastated. Now, who does she call? Her best friend. Her best friend, whose name I completely forgot. But remember, if you'll remember her cruel promise, who's the best friend? That's right, y'all. Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion, welcome to the house. You are going to be Fia's best friend for the rest of this video. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Your music's on point right now. Just thought you should know. All right, so hot girl Meg comes over to Fia's house and she's like, I never liked this asshole from the jump. Let's get it. So she's trying to help Fia cope. They drink a lot because, you know, that's what you do when you're that upset, especially if you're Mexican, you know, like me. You just have all the drinks and you have a good cry. And so what Megan does is she goes, Fia girl, give me your phone. Give it. And Sophia responds, okay. Because she knows that she is going to do something stupid if she is drunk. She's going to probably get in touch with Gavin and grovel. So hot girl Meg takes the phone from Fia. They proceed to get belligerently drunk, conk out for the night. Next day rolls around. Fia checks her phone and she sees that her bank, she's starting to get charges on her bank card from a place called Graves Adventures. Graves, like cemetery graves, Graves. And she's like, oh my god, my identity's been stolen. What the hell? And hot girl Meg, she's just sitting there and she's chuckling. Come to find out, in their drunken stupor, Megan Thee Stallion purchased an entire summer's worth of outdoorsy adventures through Graves Adventures. So every Saturday, they're going to be doing anything from horseback riding to rock climbing to hanging out in the lake to hikes. A whole summer. And these girls, these are academics. These are professors, okay? They're derp like me. So Fia sees this and she freaks out. And Megan is like, well, I signed us up. We gotta go. You and me. We gotta go. And Fia is like, the hell we do? You took my credit card information and you booked an entire summer for me. And Megan is like, I thought you said Gavin left you because you weren't adventurous. I thought we should go on some adventures. Fia ain't having it. Fia gets on the phone. She gets on the phone. And this grumpy dude on the other line answers. And he's like, hey. She goes, hey, so, I've been booked these excursions by mistake and blah blah blah. And he's like, no refunds. So then she goes, yeah, but like I didn't book these. And then he responds, was your identity stolen? She goes, well, no, it's just my best friend scheduled them because I was going through a breakup and I truthfully I don't want to go. And he just goes, no refunds. And she's like, no, but like for real, I don't want to go. And he just keeps getting no refunds, all cold and shit. And then finally, he's like, you know what? Since your friend is the one that did this, every time you show up, every weekend you pull up, I will charge her card instead of yours. Megan is like, perfect. I'm fine with that. Fia, on the other hand, is all irritated because this dude on the phone is a jerk. And she's just like, fine. All right. We've set it up. So, weekend number 1. They show up to the campgrounds of Graves Adventures. And Megan and Fia walk into a tiny cabin that ends up being the owner of Graves Adventures' house, like his cabin on the site. And so they walk in, and guess what? Oh no, he's hot. The moody guy on the phone is beautiful, sexy Maverick Graves. Sebastian Stan, welcome to the house. Woo! Give him a slow clap. That little bit more. Sebastian Stan, welcome to the house. Ooh, Winter Soldier. Ooh, in flannel. Ooh. I think I'm hilarious. All right, so Maverick is fine. Tall, not super lean, not super thick. He's like lumberjack sexy. Okay, this fool's in flannel and boots, and he smells of pine and outdoors and man. And this girl, so Fia looks at him and she's like, but he's a jerk. And Megan Thee Stallion is like, Megan is hoping that Fia and Maverick hit it off. So he's like, you guys are at the wrong spot. This is actually my house. The horseback riding is across the street. I'll meet y'all out there in a minute. All right, so they go on the horseback riding adventure. Things are tense because Maverick already does not really appreciate Fia's attitude because she is a fiery redhead, much like me. I'm artificial though. And so there's like little quippy back and forths, and they get to the horses and he's like, okay, get on the horse. And she's like, yeah, I can get on the horse. But she really can't get on the horse. And Maverick's like, you sure? You don't need help getting on the horse? And she's like, I'm fine. I can get on the horse. Guess what? Her ass falls off the horse and she falls in the lake. So what has to happen? Of course, she's covered, she's drenched, she's wet, it's cold out. So Maverick takes off his flannel. Oh! And gives her the flannel and drapes it over her so she feels dry and warm. Megan Thee Stallion's over here going, woo, 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 woo. Because I would be cheering if Sebastian Stan was out here giving me attention. All right. So that's weekend number 1. And between all this, Fia's hunting for her cellar that she wants to use for her upcoming semester of teaching cider making or whatever. And so this whole time, Megan's like, yo, ooh, Maverick's hot. Maverick's hot. And Fia's like, you're single too. Why don't you just go after Maverick? She goes, nah, this isn't my story. This ain't my journey. This is for you. And so weekend number 2 comes around and they go on a hike. And during the hike, there's this freak accident where there was like a bachelorette co-ed party and they were like volleyballing like this, exactly like this. And somebody goes like this and Megan, I don't know what Megan's doing. I think Megan's doing this. Okay. But the point is the volleyball smacks right into Megan's finger and her fingernail flies off. She's in horrific pain. Some hot dude named Thad that I didn't cast, so he's just a random guy because he's not in the book after this. But Thad comes to her rescue and he's hot apparently, and he helps wrap up her finger, and now she and Thad off screen off the outside of the book have their own whatever romance. There's a side quest happening over here that we don't know about, but the point is she meets Thad, and so now Megan and Thad have hit it off, and now Fia is continuing the hike with Maverick, and they start to talk a little bit more, and then I can't quite recall the reason that this happens, but they end up in the lake again, and she ends up having to hold on to him. Woo-hoo! She has to hold on to Maverick, and he has to swim across the lake. Meanwhile, she's holding on to this big, beefy Maverick Graves. Oh, so much fun. So now there's tension building. I could tell he's into her. She's denying it because he's crabby, but he hasn't been crabby the times he's had to help her. And so she doesn't know how to process that because all she wants to cling to is the fact that he was an a-hole on the phone. Okay? All right. So Megan hurts herself. They swim in the lake, and when they swim in the lake, her leg, like something gets caught in her leg, and she's like, oh my God, ah! She thinks she's gonna die of like leeches or piranhas or whatever, and then he pokes at her leg, and it's this bent nickel, and he pockets the nickel. More to come. Put a pin in that. All right. So then the next weekend rolls around, and Megan is still injured, so they, instead of going on whatever excursion they were signed up to go to, they start kind of shopping around for locations for Fia to use the grant for the cider mill or whatever she's trying to do. And they're going all over town. Nothing's really speaking to them. And then their phone vibrates. Their phones vibrate. Zzz, 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 zzz. So then Fia looks at her phone. There's a $200 charge on her card. And Megan got a $200 refund on hers from Graves Adventures. The hoe that said no refunds gave Megan a refund. So guess what? Fia's pissed. So she goes, she gets Maverick on the line right away. She's like, listen, you hoe. Like, you better give me my money. And he's like, we had a deal. You didn't pull up. I said I was going to charge you. So she responds, my friend is injured. Of course we couldn't make it. And he says, of course your friend is injured. That's why I reimbursed her. It's a freak accident. Of course I'm like, no. But I wasn't aware that you and Megan were one. Ooh. That shit irritated me. That shit irritated me because there's some friends that, like, if you know, you know, like, we're a package deal. So if one of us is down, like, we're all down. So anyway, she feels what I feel. There's this. So she's like, okay, all right. You can't refund me? Fine. Then I'm going to reschedule. He's like, okay, we can do that. So she reschedules to like an extra weekend or whatever. And next weekend comes around. It's raining. It's storming. Oh, I forgot to even mention where this is even taking place. So there, the university and the girls are in New York. Hi, Bruce. Down. Thank you. They're in New York. And the barn is in New Jersey. I'm assuming those are close by because this isn't the first book where I've encountered this. So out here in California, you know, I don't fucking know where anything is. Bruce, baby, off of me. Thank you. All right, next weekend rolls around. It's storming. Baby, I love you too. I do. But okay, fine. Are you gonna settle? If you settle on my lap, I'm fine. If you settle on my lap, we can proceed. Okay. I think he's settled. All right. So, third time. The following weekend rolls around. It's storming. Your girl, Fia, drives from New York to Jersey in the rain to this rural area. She drives to the campsite. She sees that the campsite is like freaking empty. And she's like, all right, the hell? So she goes up the steps and she knocks on Maverick's door. And he opens the door and he's like, what are you doing here? And she said, I'm here for the activities so that you don't charge my ass. And he's like, you didn't get the email that I canceled this weekend because of the weather? And so she takes a big old breath. She's like, you mean to tell me? No, baby. No. If you're going to goof, no. You mean to tell me that I drove all this way in a storm and it's canceled? And so he is like, he wants to send her back. He's like, yeah, I don't know. You should probably just turn around. I'll see you. Bye. So at this point, she's pissed. A beautiful girl comes in. A beautiful girl that is being played by Elizabeth Olsen walks into the house. And we find out that this is Maverick's sister, Shay. So Shay comes into the house and sees Maverick with a girl. And she's like, oh. And so she works her magic and she's like, no, you're going to stay here in this house with Maverick because we have cots. It's the storm. It's all bad. Nope, you're not driving these roads in the storm. Nope. And Maverick, shut the hell up. Shut up, Maverick. Shut up. She's staying. I don't give a fuck. Shut up, Maverick. Because she's older. She's asserting her dominance. She's like, shut up, Maverick. Nobody likes you. You were adopted. We found you in a trash can. Shut up, Maverick. So, Shay gets her way. Maverick has to host Fia in the storm. And so he brings out the cot. And we come to find out that this tiny cabin does not have a separate bedroom. And he has been sleeping in the pull-out couch on the futon. So not only is she in a cot in this living area, he is also going to sleep in the same area as her. But because Maverick doesn't want it to be weird, he sleeps this way and Fia sleeps this way. So their feet are touching each other. And he's like, bitch, you better not kick. So then the storm is hitting hella hard. And Fia wakes up and he's reading. He is reading this old worn book because apparently he likes old literature. He's reading Thoreau and he's reading the poetry, but because he's like this stoic, serious dude, he's like looking angry while he's reading it, and so she makes fun of him. Cute moment. They talk about their love of books. She happens to also like the same type of literature, and they quote poetry to each other, whatever. And they go to bed. Next morning rolls around. Shay comes back in and she's like, "Oh, hey guys, by the way, this is my fiance, Amelia. Amelia, she's played by Lady Gaga." They're all in their 30s, okay? So this makes sense, okay? Lady Gaga and Elizabeth Olsen in the house, you guys. So Amelia owns the orchard across the street from the campground that Shay and Maverick own. Okay? All right. So there's actually it's this following morning is the day of this like fundraiser for the animal shelter / yoga retreat. And so Shay is like, "Oh my gosh, Fia, you should stay." And Fia is like, "I barely know you guys, but you're really nice, Shay, so okay." And Maverick is like, "Oh my god." And Shay is like, "Shut up. Shut up, Maverick. We like her. This is gonna work, Maverick." Because we find out that Mr. Maverick only had one girlfriend 7 years ago, and she up and left him without a word. She just ghosted him and disappeared. And since then, he ain't get nothing. He didn't want a girlfriend. Looking like this and single for 7 years. Again, like this and single for 7 years. Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, I'm having too much fun. Maybe I casted too hot of a dude. All right, doesn't matter. Okay, so Maverick cooks Fia breakfast because he's being a good host, and apparently he's a decent cook. And so she's sitting there having breakfast with Maverick. And guess what happens? You know how the girls initially got confused and ended up at his house versus going to the meet point at the campsite? Guess who walks in doing the same thing? Gavin and Clarissa. And Gavin is wearing yoga pants. Ain't that right, Bruce? Bruce is so confused by the yoga pants. He's wagging his tail. So, no, baby. No. But Rose, baby. Okay, fine. I will let you have the pen if you go. Go. Go get the pen. Go get the pen. Thank you. He likes pens and straws. Sorry. I mean, yeah, that's what he does. So, all right. So Gavin and Clarissa walk in, and Gavin sees Fia with the sexiest man alive, and Gavin is like, "Oh, hell no." He's irritated. He's irritated because he thought he won with his sexy little thing, Clarissa, but it looks like Fia won this round, and awkward conversation ensues. Clarissa and Gavin leave. Maverick is like, "Is that the ex that dumped you for being boring?" And she's like, "Sure is." He said, "All right." Maverick already instantly hates this dude. So now we're at the yoga thing. The yoga fundraiser. There's kittens. I don't know what this is. There's kittens in this pose trying to get adopted. There's dogs stretching. There's animals just hanging out, and there's people with yoga mats like doing their stretches because that's what Gavin and Clarissa and all the gang are there for. And we meet Maverick's pet goose named Honk. Yeah, he's got a goose, and the goose is really temperamental. So Maverick says he has a love-hate relationship with the goose. Point is, Honk bites Gavin in the face. Honk literally goes, walks right up to Gavin while Gavin's in the middle of downward dog or whatever freaking pose he's in, and he goes, right on his face. And so Gavin's like, with the goose on his face. Now he's bleeding. It's a mess. And Maverick thinks it's funny as hell because he's like, yeah, serves you right, dude. You suck. And Fia is now really tickled by the fact that Honk did that for her. So now she's starting to like. This is one of those books where she falls in love with the people around Maverick before she falls in love with Maverick. So now she loves the duck. Now she loves Shay. She loves Amelia. And during this segment of the book, Fia kind of walks around and she goes across the street and explores Amelia's orchard. And she finds this old barn house and she opens it and discovers that it's actually a cider mill that just hasn't been used in years. And she immediately falls in love with the space. And even though it's Jersey, so it's a bit of a commute from the university that she works at, she's like, this is my spot. This is it. Has everything I want, has the vibe I want. I'm in love with this place. And Amelia is down. She's like, yeah, I'm down to renovate this spot. Shay and Amelia, super supportive. Down ass girls. All right. So, after that, they're kind of all in agreement. She and Maverick, they haven't explicitly started dating, but their tension is very evident now, especially with Maverick essentially sicking Honk on Gavin's face. So we find out, and now they're texting each other back and forth, being kind of cute with each other. All right, talking stage. Yep, that's what's happening. And so now the college gives Fia a call, and they say, "Hey, we really like the location that you're thinking about, like the college or the grant people, one or the other." Somebody calls, and they're like, "We like the location that you're talking about, but for formality's sake, we actually need to go to the location to like vet it and approve it." So she's has a mini freak out and she talks to Maverick and he's like, done, it's fine. You can come over a couple days before to like help us finish cleaning and prepare, and then it'll happen. So she goes back to the barn. Hey, she pulls it back to the barn. And she and Maverick are clearly enamored with each other because now they can't even talk to each other in person anymore. So they have this cute exchange where he texts her she texts him and he texts her, and they're like next to each other because it's easier for them to type to each other than to say it. And then there's a moment where the sun has set. Maverick gave her a spare cabin from the campsite to stay in because he didn't want to like be really pushy and like insist that she stay with him or whatever. So she's in her own little cabin. And so he knocks on the cabin door because it's dark out, and he's trying to get her back to the main house so that she can have dinner with Shay, Amelia, and Maverick. And at the same time, we find out that a bunch of nuns, a convent, is renting for the weekend, and they're staying on the campground for their religious retreat. Okay? Yes. There's monjitas in the building. Of course. So you know what happens? Their tension as they're walking in the forest finally comes to a head, and Maverick... What is it with these trees, y'all? Maverick pins Fia up against a tree, and they make out. Not only do they make out with his hands, he brings Fia great joy on the tree, and Fia is not so silent about the joy. All right? Okay. There's nuns around. This happens, and then guess what happens after she finds joy? There's a flashlight in her face, and it's Shay and Amelia, and they're like, yo, this is kind of where I was like, okay, no. Am I just Like, is my relationship with my sister the weird one? Because I personally like I personally would never want to hear, let alone see, my sibling engaged in acts of joy. Ever. Ever. What the hell is it with these books and the siblings? Anyway, they act like ain't nothing happened. If anything, they're excited that Maverick has finally found somebody, because the fool's been lonely for 7 years, looking like this. Again, I don't know why. All right. So next morning, Honk goes missing, and Maverick's freaking out because he can't find his goose. And Sophia steps into action, and she goes up to the convent of nuns, and she goes, "Hey, you guys, Maverick lost his goose." And then the nuns are like, "We're going on a goose chase?" They're all excited for the goose chase. Come here, baby. Over here. Thank you. Thank you. So they go on this goose chase, and they find Honk, and the nurses start giggling and talking about how they all heard Fia and Maverick versus the tree the night before. Oh, I would have died. I would have died. Oh my god, kill me, please. What? But Bruce, baby, I would appreciate it if you just wouldn't. I can't. This is the story of a Bruce who's hopped on the table and started knocking my shit over. While he looks so cute in photographs, he's really a nightmare. In my house, in my house, in my house. This is the story of a Bruce who's a mess. And I don't think we'll ever have a truce. Oh, you know what? The show must go on. Was that the cue? Was that what we needed to do? Okay. All right. Let's continue with our story. So the nuns make fun of Maverick and Fia because of what happened against the tree the night before. Mortifying. I would have been singing that one song from the Wedding Singer, going, "Somebody kill me, please." Oh, how embarrassing. This book genuinely made me laugh out loud. And this is one of those parts where I started cracking up. All right. So they find the goose. The inspection from the university happens. So now they're at the barnhouse. Guess who pulls up? Gavin with Clarissa, because guess what? He's the new department chair at the university, so he gets to make the decision. Now, granted, Maverick and Fia are now actively seeing each other. Just context. So they do the meeting. There's weird comments from Gavin. The Grant people actually really like the space, but Gavin's poo-pooing it. So then that barn scene ends. Fia's really nervous, but it takes a while for her to hear back. So in the meantime, Maverick actually goes over to her apartment for the first time, and there's a scene where they don't have contraceptives, so rather than using the standard equipment, they have to use other equipment to find happiness with each other. Yeah? Alright. So that scene happens. And they're clearly like pretty much together at this point. And so Um, he stayed the entire night. Yeah, at her place. Maverick, after 7 years. Okay, so then guess what? She finds out through a letter that she didn't get the grant. Like she's like losing out on the space because the grant and this college said no, this isn't the space for you. And Fia, because she's has a propensity to like just get angry, lashes out. She spirals into a depression. She's not talking to anybody. Maverick, she's not talking to Maverick. So Maverick pulls up to her place and he's like, "Hey, boo, you haven't talked to me in a while." And she goes on this crazy, angry rant. And basically, in this rant, she ends up, like, while she's lashing out, she tells Maverick that maybe it's a sign that they're not meant to be together, because if they were, then she would have been able to work on the land where he lives. And so Maverick is really hurt and he leaves, but he leaves the Thoreau book, like a note. Was it the Thoreau book or a notebook? He leaves something behind. He leaves a notebook behind because he does. And then she opens it and she realizes that Maverick was actually declaring his love for her in this notebook, and they were gonna like level up in their relationship essentially. And she just threw it all away, throwing a massive temper tantrum. And so now she's got egg on her face. She's devastated. She's crying. Megan Thee Stallion is like, "I told you not to mess this up. I knew that you and Maverick had something going on. I don't know what to tell you." And so now we go and see Fia at the school. So Fia's at the school and she's moping. And of all people, she runs into Clarissa. And Clarissa is like, hey friend, let's go get ice cream together because you seem upset. Let's just talk. Now, why Fia is choosing to entertain the woman that essentially stole her mans in the beginning of the book, I don't know. But Clarissa ends up being super nice and gives Fia a spiritual awakening. And she ends up coming up with a plan. And she ends up talking to, well, so okay, she devises her plan. All right, now we come to Maverick, who has also been wallowing and sad, and suddenly Fia shows up at the barn, at the campground or whatever, and Maverick's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "No, I need you to hear me out." And she ends up sharing that she was able to contact the grant people, who said that they got a bad feeling from Gavin anyway, so the grant was up for grabs again, except the school wasn't going to give the backing that they were going to give. So Shay and Amelia were going to use some of their money to like help pay for it, and Fia cashed in her 401k and put all of her retirement savings into this because she really believed in the barn or whatever. And everybody's there. Clarissa's there. Shay, Amelia, Megan Thee Stallion, Honk the Goose. Everybody's there. And Maverick's like, "Well, why are you telling me this?" And she's like, "I'm telling you this because I need one last thing from you in order to make it work." And he's like, "You're asking me for money?" She goes, "I'm asking you for the nickel." And I guess that just means like, I'm all in, boo. Like I'm in this and I'm doing this because I want to be with you, because I love you or whatever. And so Maverick is like, "The nickel is mine." And then the book ends with an epilogue of Amelia and Shay's wedding day, and Maverick and Fia actually live together in the house, in the cabin or whatever, and they're living happily ever after, and they're happy with Honk. Oh, Maverick has a dog too, and he has a horse and other things. She's cool with all of them. I've missed that. I've missed quite a bit. There's a scene. Oh, there's a scene where before the storm happens, Maverick, like after they had done the hiking excursion, Maverick was curious about her, so he actually went to visit her at work, and you find out that the route that he took, because he took the train, was a 2-hour commute. So it already gave you a big hint that Maverick was really into Fia. What else I miss? No. Dun. From what I wrote down, I think that's pretty much it. The point is, this book was coherent, it was quick, and it was fun. Thank you to the actors for coming through today and giving such a solid performance. Hopefully I get to use you guys again for any future videos. But that, my friends, was Feeling Fiery by Beck Erixson. Perfect way to close out this trilogy from Shop My Hoopla. If you had fun, if you stayed this whole way, if you stayed till the very end, definitely leave me a comment and say, I don't know, what should we say today? I don't know. I can't come up with anything, so I'm not going to make you guys say anything. But if you like what you saw, please give me a like, give me a share. Please subscribe. A lot of you that are watching my videos are not subscribed. So please, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. And I've already told y'all in many videos, if I get to 100 subscribers, I am going to eat 12 tacos. That is a dozen, correct. 12 tacos in one sitting, potentially with a guest who is going to help me share some of the most embarrassing stories about me. Please. We're 47 strong, gang. I'm hoping that the family can keep growing. Please join my cult. Without further ado, thank you all. I genuinely appreciate all the love that y'all have been giving me in these videos. And I hope to see y'all next time. Deuces!